All right, hey everyone. So today we're going to really dig into this thing called DeepSeek, right? It's like this whole new way of thinking about AI and how we can like make it actually reason.
Oh, yeah, it's super cool stuff.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
AI that can figure stuff out on its own, almost like,
Like a person.
Yeah, exactly. And to help break it all down, we've got, well, an expert here. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Yeah, DeepSeek is definitely shaking things up.
Okay, so
Okay.
before we go full on DeepSeek,
Okay.
can you maybe set the stage for us?
Yeah.
Why is teaching AI to reason so hard in the first place? It seems like for computers that should be easy, right?
You'd think so, but it's really not. Like
Yeah.
for ages, the way we did it was this thing called supervised fine-tuning, which basically spoon-feeding the AI info.
Right.
Tons of labeled data. It spots the patterns, but it doesn't really get the concepts. You know what I mean?
So it's kind of like it's memorizing the answer key, but not actually learning to solve the problem.
Exactly. It works, but only so far.
Right.
Plus, you need these massive data sets, which are crazy expensive and take forever to make.
Okay, so that's where DeepSeek comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's like a totally different approach using, reinforcement learning.
That's it.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
It's all about letting the AI explore and learn from messing up,
Yeah.
getting feedback along the way. More adaptable.
So it's kind of like figuring out a maze.
Yeah, exactly. More like how we learn, you know?
Okay, so DeepSeek is using this to tackle AI reasoning. What makes it so unique, though? I mean, there's tons of AI projects out there.
Well, DeepSeek has two big goals that really set it apart.
Right.
First, it wants AI to reason without us holding its hand so much.
Right.
No more spoon feeding.
Right.
And second, DeepSeek is all about making this super powerful AI accessible to everyone, not just the big tech companies.
It's ambitious. I like it. So let's get into the DeepSeek models themselves. You mentioned DeepSeek-R1-Zero and DeepSeek-R1.
Yes.
What's the deal with those?
Well, DeepSeek-R1-Zero is, it's fascinating. Shows how powerful pure reinforcement learning can be.
Oh, yeah.
It learns totally through trial and error, no supervised fine-tuning at the start.
Whoa, no training wheels at all. That's brave.
I know, right? And get this, R1-Zero uses this thing called GRPO.
GRPO.
Yeah, Group Relative Policy Optimization.
Okay. For those of us not in the AI lab every day.
Right, sorry.
What is GRPO?
Basically, think of it like a bunch of AI agents all working on the same problem together. They try different stuff, learn from each other's wins and fails.
Okay.
And then they get better at reasoning as a group.
So it's like a brainstorming session,
Yeah.
but for AI.
Exactly.
I love that.
And the results were amazing.
Yeah.
R1-Zero started doing things that we usually think of as human reasoning,
Like what?
Self-verification.
Like it double checks its work.
Reflection. It rethinks its approach. And extended chains of thought.
What's that?
It means R1-Zero can break down its reasoning into clear steps.
So it's like it can explain how it's thinking.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all perfect, right? Had to be some bumps along the way.
Well, yeah, of course. R1-Zero, it was a breakthrough, but the output, initially, it was a bit messy. Like a genius with terrible handwriting,
Yeah.
brilliant ideas, but hard to decipher.
So they had this super smart AI, could reason, but its communication skills needed work.
Precisely. That's where DeepSeek-R1 comes in.
Okay, yeah. Tell me more about how they cleaned up this raw genius.
Well, DeepSeek-R1 builds on R1-Zero, but it uses a multi-stage approach.
Multi-stage.
Yeah, so it starts with cold start fine-tuning.
Cold start fine-tuning.
Yeah.
So this time, they gave it a little structure.
Right, giving it some well-organized examples to learn from first.
Okay, yeah.
Helps it structure its thoughts better.
So it's not completely from scratch anymore.
Exactly. Then there's reasoning-oriented RL, really focusing on those reasoning skills like coding, math, logic puzzles.
Makes sense. Got to train those muscles.
And they fixed the messy handwriting too.
Yeah. How'd they do that?
They used rejection sampling and supervised fine-tuning.
Okay.
Made the output much clearer.
So now R1 can communicate clearly and think deeply.
Yes. They gave that scientist with bad handwriting, a good pen.
Yeah. But wait, there's more to this multi-stage thing, right?
Right. The final stage is alignment via RL for all scenarios.
Okay.
It's all about making sure R1 is like helpful and doesn't cause any harm, no matter what.
Right, so they're not just building a powerful AI, they're making sure it's responsible too.
Exactly.
So how does R1 stack up against R1-Zero now, after all that?
It's a night and day difference, honestly.
Okay.
R1 is intelligent and it can communicate its reasoning really well.
Okay, so we've got this amazing AI, can reason, can communicate. But remember, DeepSeek's other goal was accessibility, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Making this available to everyone.
And that's where the distillation process comes in.
Ooh, distillation. That sounds fancy.
Imagine taking all the smarts from R1 and putting it into a smaller, more efficient model.
Like a pocket-sized version?
Yes.
That's awesome.
This means even small organizations can use it.
So DeepSeek could revolutionize stuff like education, healthcare.
Exactly. So many possibilities.
This is blowing my mind. But hold on. How does DeepSeek compare to, like, the big names in AI? Like OpenAI. Can it really keep up?
Oh, absolutely. DeepSeek's actually been beating them on some benchmarks, especially when it comes to, like, really deep reasoning tasks.
Wait, seriously. Beating the big guys. What kind of benchmarks are we talking about here?
Well, for example, there's the AMA, the American Invitational Mathematics Examination.
BAA.
Yeah, DeepSeek-R1 actually got a higher score than OpenAI's top model did on the 2024 exam.
No way. So it's not just solving, like, basic math problems. It's doing stuff designed for, like, super smart students.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, that's impressive. What else?
Another area is understanding complex texts, like really long and detailed stuff.
Okay.
There's this benchmark called ArenaHard.
ArenaHard. Okay.
It tests how well AI can understand and respond to complicated stories. And DeepSeek-R1 got a win rate of over 92%.
92%.
Yeah, way better than other models.
Okay, so DeepSeek is not just a math genius. It can actually, like, read and understand complex stuff too.
Yeah, which is crucial for things like summarizing documents, doing research, even analyzing legal documents, stuff like that.
Right. The possibilities are endless. It sounds like DeepSeek is like a total game changer. But I mean, no tech is perfect, right? There's got to be some areas where DeepSeek still needs work, right?
Oh, of course. DeepSeek isn't finished. It's still being developed.
What are they working on? Give us the inside scoop.
One thing is improving multi-language support.
Okay.
Right now, it's mainly trained on English and Chinese data, so
Yeah.
it's great with those, but struggles with other languages.
Right. Makes sense.
Language is complex. Yeah.
So they're working on expanding DeepSeek's language skills by, adding more diverse data and making it better at understanding and generating text in other languages.
So they're basically making it multilingual.
Exactly.
That's awesome. What else?
Another thing is making it less sensitive to how instructions are phrased.
Oh, right. Like sometimes people don't phrase things perfectly clearly.
Yeah, human language can be messy, right?
Definitely.
So they're using techniques like natural language processing and intent recognition to help DeepSeek understand what someone means, even if they don't say it perfectly.
Right, it's like teaching AI to read between the lines.
Exactly.
This has been such a cool overview of DeepSeek. It's seriously groundbreaking stuff.
It really is.
I'm particularly excited about, making these powerful tools accessible to everyone.
Me too.
But I gotta ask,
Yeah.
How is DeepSeek actually being used out there in the real world? Any applications that, like, really stand out to you?
Oh, tons. One that I'm super excited about is in education.
Education.
Yeah. Oh, tell me more about how DeepSeek is, like, changing the game in education.
Well, they're using it to build personalized learning platforms that
sure.
can adapt to each student's, individual needs.
Wow, it's incredible. It's like every student gets their own personal AI tutor.
It really is. Think about it. A tutor that explains things in a way that makes sense to you specifically.
Yeah.
Gives you personalized feedback, even creates custom learning materials for you.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal teacher available, like 24/7.
Exactly.
How else is DeepSeek being used in education?
It's not just for traditional classrooms either.
Okay.
They're using it for online learning platforms too, making quality education more accessible to people all over the world, no matter where they are.
Wow, that's truly democratizing education.
It is.
What about other fields? Any other applications that are particularly exciting to you?
Another big one is healthcare.
Healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Researchers are using DeepSeek for things like drug discovery, medical diagnosis, even personalized treatment plans.
Wait, AI helping to develop new drugs and diagnose illnesses? Seriously?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Tell me more.
Imagine DeepSeek analyzing huge amounts of data, like scientific papers, clinical trials, genetic information,
Yeah.
to find patterns and potential drug candidates.
So DeepSeek could help us find cures for diseases faster.
Exactly. It could speed up the whole process, which is normally super slow and expensive.
Wow, that's a game changer. What about its role in medical diagnosis?
Well, it could analyze medical images like X-rays or CT scans
Okay.
and find subtle patterns that human doctors might miss.
So it could lead to earlier and more accurate diagnoses.
Exactly.
That's incredible. And what about those personalized treatment plans you mentioned?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
DeepSeek could analyze your whole medical history, your genetic profile, your lifestyle, everything,
Right.
to figure out the best treatment options for you.
So it's like tailoring medicine specifically to each person.
Yeah. Personalized medicine.
This is seriously mind-blowing stuff. It sounds like DeepSeek is already making a real difference in the world.
It really is.
But before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
We've seen how AI can learn to reason.
Hmm.
But what other human-like abilities could we potentially replicate in the future?
That's a great question.
Where could this technology lead us in the next, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years? It's something to think about.
It really is.
We'll be back in a bit to explore more about DeepSeek, so stay tuned.
It really makes you wonder what's next, you know? Like, what else is possible?
I know. And what's so cool is DeepSeek isn't just about making AI smarter. It's about making that smarts available to everyone.
Exactly. That's super important.
Yeah, because for a long time, this cutting-edge AI stuff, it was all locked up in these like big companies with tons of money.
Right. Yeah. Just a handful of players.
And that kind of limits, what we can do with it.
Totally. Think about what could happen if, like, any researcher, any startup, anyone with a good idea could use these tools.
Right. It'd be a total explosion of innovation.
Exactly. Like, we could see breakthroughs in education, healthcare, climate change, you name it.
It'd be like a new era of like democratized innovation.
I love that. Democratized innovation. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And DeepSeek is a great example of that, the whole open source thing.
Yeah. So let's talk more about how DeepSeek actually performs, compared to the big guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You mentioned it was actually beating them on some of those tests.
It is on some pretty tough benchmarks, too.
Give us the details. What kind of tests are we talking about?
Well, like I said before, there's the A, that math exam.
Yeah. Right. The A.
DeepSeek-R1 actually outscored OpenAI's best model on the 2024 exam.
So it's not just solving like textbook problems. It's tackling stuff designed for like the Math Olympiad or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's standardized, so it's a really fair comparison,
Totally.
Yeah.
What about understanding those long, complex texts you mentioned?
Oh, right, yeah, on ArenaHard, which
Yeah.
is all about understanding narratives and making connections within a text.
Mm-hmm.
DeepSeek-R1 had a win rate over 92%.
Wow, 92%.
Way better than anything else out there.
Okay, so it's a math whiz and a speed reader.
Pretty much. And that's super important for, summarizing documents, research, even legal stuff.
Right, tons of applications.
And we haven't even talked about its creative side yet.
Creative, like what? It can write poetry now.
Well, not just poetry, but yeah, on benchmarks like Alpha-Evil 2.0, which looks at things like writing quality and storytelling ability,
Yeah.
DeepSeek did amazingly well.
It can write stories too.
It's showing real potential there, yeah. Different formats, different genres.
This is wild. It's like a whole new level of AI.
It really is. And it's all happening in the open, you know? That's what's so exciting.
Right. It's not some secret project. It's out there for anyone to contribute to.
Exactly. And that's what's driving so much progress. All these different people with different ideas coming together.
Yeah, like a global brain, all focused on AI.
I like that. It's super inspiring.
It really is. It kind of makes you wonder, what's the next big breakthrough going to be,
Right. What else will AI be able to do?
It's exciting to think about.
Totally.
But for now, let's get back to those challenges you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You talked about improving multi-language support and how DeepSeek handles instructions.
Right.
Tell me more about those.
Well, right now, DeepSeek works best with super clear instructions, very precise.
Yeah, zero-shot prompts, right?
Exactly. But in real life, people aren't always so precise.
For sure. We're messy, we use slang, we imply things.
Exactly. So they're working on making DeepSeek more robust, so it can understand what you mean, even if you don't say it perfectly.
So basically teaching AI to understand
Yeah.
like the nuances of human language.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's essential if we want these AI to be truly helpful.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about that multi-language support? What's happening there?
Well, like I said, DeepSeek's mainly trained on English and Chinese data right now,
Right.
so it's amazing with those.
Yeah.
But other languages, it still struggles.
Yeah, that's a big challenge, right? Each language has its own quirks.
Totally. But the team's working on it, adding more diverse data, making the model better at understanding all those different languages.
That's so cool. I mean, imagine if everyone in the world could use these powerful AI tools.
Right. No matter what language they speak.
Be amazing.
Totally. Breaking down those barriers, fostering collaboration, it's a great goal.
It really is.
Definitely.
So we've talked a lot about DeepSeek's potential, but what about real-world applications? What's it actually being used for today? Anything that stands out to you?
Oh, absolutely. Like I mentioned before, education is a big one.
Right. You were talking about those personalized learning platforms.
Yeah. It's incredible what they're doing.
It really is. Like giving every student their own personal AI teacher.
Exactly. Imagine, like, no matter who you are, how you learn best, you've got this tutor that can explain things in the way that clicks for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it can give feedback, create custom lessons.
Yeah, everything. It's like having a teacher dedicated just to you 24/7.
That's a game changer for sure. And it's not just limited to classrooms, right?
Nope. They're using DeepSeek for online learning, too.
Right. So it can reach people all over the world.
Exactly. Makes education more accessible to everyone.
Love that.
It's really powerful stuff.
It is. What about other fields? Any other applications that like really blow you away?
Well, healthcare is another area where DeepSeek is already making a huge difference.
Oh, yeah. You were saying it's being used for drug discovery, diagnosis, even treatment plans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like science fiction is becoming reality. Tell me more about the drug discovery stuff.
So developing new drugs takes forever.
Yeah, it's a really long process.
Super expensive.
Right.
But DeepSeek can analyze tons of data like scientific papers, clinical trial results, and find patterns that might lead to new drug candidates.
So it's like having an AI research assistant sifting through all that information to find potential breakthroughs.
Exactly. It could help us find cures for diseases way faster than we do now.
That's amazing. What about using it for diagnosis?
Well, think about medical images like X-rays.
Yeah.
DeepSeek could be trained to spot tiny details in those images.
Okay.
Things that a human doctor might miss.
So it could catch diseases earlier.
Yeah, leading to earlier diagnosis and treatment.
That could literally save lives.
Absolutely. And for personalized treatment, DeepSeek could look at your entire medical history, your genes, your lifestyle,
Right.
to suggest the best treatment just for you.
It's like medicine tailored to each individual person.
Exactly. Personalized medicine.
It's mind-blowing. It sounds like DeepSeek is already changing the world.
It really is. It's an exciting time. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Like, we're really seeing what AI can do.
It's incredible. And what I keep coming back to with DeepSeek is, that commitment to making this tech available to everyone.
Yeah, that open source aspect is huge.
Right. It's not just about like making the smartest AI. It's about making sure it benefits everyone.
Exactly. And I think that's why we're seeing so much enthusiasm for DeepSeek. It's not just some big company controlling everything. It's a global community.
Yeah, like a team effort.
Exactly. People from all over the world working together to build the future of AI.
It's pretty inspiring, honestly.
It is. And I think it shows that people really care about making sure AI is used for good,
For sure. So we've talked about the tech, the potential, the challenges. But as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We've seen how AI can learn to reason, but where does it go from here? What's the next big leap?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What other human-like abilities could we teach AI in the future?
Right. What's next on the horizon?
It's exciting to think about.
It really is. And kind of scary, too,
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, we have to be careful with this stuff.
Absolutely. It's powerful technology, and we need to make sure it's used responsibly.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation. Thanks for sharing your insights with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into DeepSeek. We hope you learned something new and that you're as excited about the future of AI as we are. Until next time, this is The Deep Dive, signing off.